Imagine a place that's always changing, a city that reinvents itself while holding onto its roots, a place where tradition meets the future. Welcome to New York. Today it's a place of glass and steel, the financial heart of the world, and a cultural hub that pulls in millions of visitors every year. But wind back the clock just 400 years, and it wasn't even a city at all. It was forest and wetlands, filled with oak, chestnut, and hickory trees. The Lenape people fished in the rivers where ferries now cross, and they hunted where Central Park is now. And what's mind-blowing is that in 1626, the Dutch bought all of this land for goods worth about $24. Today, the same land is worth in the trillions. The late 1800s, New York became America's front door. Between 1820 and 1920, more than 30 million immigrants passed through Ellis Island and Castle Garden. Picture this. You step off a ship, the Statue of Liberty rises in the distance, and you know your entire life is about to change. In fact, by 1910, nearly 40% of New York's population was foreign-born. That wave of immigration gave the city its character. Little Italy, Chinatown, Jewish delis, Irish pubs. Each neighborhood became a mosaic of languages and traditions, stitched together into a city that never looked or sounded the same from one block to the next. Then came the rise of industry. The Brooklyn Navy Yard, once the heart of America's shipbuilding, employed over 70,000 workers during World War II. Meanwhile, Manhattan's garment district churned out clothing that dressed much of the country. Skyscrapers began reaching into the clouds. The Empire State Building, completed in 1931, was so tall that for decades pilots had to be careful flying anywhere near it. Fun fact, when it first opened, only a fraction of its offices were filled, earning it the nickname the Empty State Building. But New York's story is not just about growth, it's about resilience. In the 1970s, the city nearly went bankrupt. Crime was high, neighborhoods were struggling, and many people wondered if New York's golden era was behind it. Headlines declared the city ungovernable, and yet, it fought back. Artists turned abandoned lofts into galleries in Soho. Hip-hop was born in the Bronx. Punk rock exploded in downtown clubs. Out of hardship, culture thrived, proving again that New York always finds a way to reinvent itself. Fast forward to today, the New York of the 21st century is bigger than ever. Over 8.5 million people call it home, and if the 5 boroughs were a state, it would rank as the 13th most populous in the United States. The subway, which first opened in 1904, now carries over 5 million riders on a typical weekday. Times Square, once infamous for crime, is now one of the most visited tourist destinations on Earth, drawing more than 300,000 people daily. Economically, the transformation is staggering. Wall Street alone handles trillions of dollars every single day. The city generates about $1.7 trillion in gross metropolitan product, making it the largest city economy in the United States. Compare that to the days when its economy was mostly trade and textiles, and it feels like another world. But perhaps the biggest change is in the skyline. At the turn of the 20th century, the Flatiron Building was considered a marvel. Today, New York is home to more than 300 skyscrapers taller than 150 meters, including One World Trade Center, which stands at 1,776 feet tall as a symbol of resilience after 9/11s. The skyline is still growing, with new super tall towers climbing higher each year. Technology has reshaped daily life as well. The phone booths that once dotted every corner have disappeared, replaced by Wi-Fi kiosks. Yellow taxis still roam the streets, but now they compete with Uber, Lyft, and even city bikes. Food delivery apps have turned every apartment into a restaurant table, yet at the same time, you can still grab a bagel from a 100-year-old deli, proving that some things never change. So how has New York changed over the years? Well, everywhere and nowhere. The story of New York is a story of layers. It's evident in its architecture. Walking down a street is like stepping through time zones. Brownstones from the 1800s sit beside mid-century modern buildings, or while a crane lifts a prefabricated apartment into place on a new luxury tower. It's a city where old and new aren't separate. They coexist, they build on top of each other, and they inspire each other. Just think about what a typical New Yorker experiences in a single day. Maybe they start their morning in a historic Italian bakery in Soho, grab a coffee in a shop owned by a Japanese immigrant in Midtown, then head uptown to visit friends in Harlem before taking a water taxi to Dumbo, Brooklyn to finish up the night. In every sense, New York has changed. Its people, its buildings, its culture, its economy, all of it has evolved, adapted, and rebuilt itself over the decades. Now, let's focus on culture. How has it shaped New York and how